Right there. OSHA meets OSHA requirements. So I figure if I keep some of these on my trucks, we're good. Because there's one here, you see? And you got nothing in it, it's empty. Now, why are we talking about first aid kits? Because you're supposed to have them. You need to have your, right there, your little orange things, triangles, first aid kit, fire extinguisher, non-existent fire extinguisher in the busted up fire extinguisher holder. I gotta get those still. Did that close all the way? Yes, sir. It did. So let's get this heap fired up. Don't worry, I already checked all the oil, fluids, and air tire pressure, blah 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 blah. Out of gear. Frost on. That's right up. We'll let that fill up with some air. Oh, jeez. Dump truck's still draining. There's some water in there and it was pretty nasty. I gotta fix that chute. It keeps falling down. But today, we're gonna go clear some land. Yeah. 1.07 acres. I got a kid that's gonna be there with forestry mulcher to take care of that part for me. Because, yeah. Uh-oh. There he goes. Jeez. He's gonna do some forestry mulching. And I'm gonna do some surveying, I guess you could call it. And no idea what size that is. We're gonna get a job done. We gotta dump some water. Spinny spin. Here it comes. Oh. Yeah. Downy down. So here we go. He's out here mulching for me. And I'm walking around looking for all the big rocks. There's a piece of like 1/2-inch steel plate leaning up against a tree back there. You got sofa bed. I pulled a wheelbarrow out of here. Some steel fence posts. There's you probably can't see it, it's marked in orange right back there. There's a whole bunch of copper tube. There's a big chunk of steel. Rocks, gutters. This here's a big chunk of like wire fence. That'll stop your day in a hurry when you're grinding. You get all that sucked up in there and around everything. So we'll make that nice and bright. Might sound like overkill, but I don't want them to miss this. And end up having a real bad day. Okay. Oh, I also found an old fire hydrant. There's all kinds of junk here. Yeehaw. So the guy that's doing all the mulching for me, his name's Colin, and he's kind of in the same boat as me. He just started his business not long ago, and he's working on growing that, same as myself. So that's kind of why, after I found this guy, I wanted to see what he was all about, because I'd rather give somebody the opportunity that's starting from the bottom than somebody that's been doing this for 20 years. And not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm just trying to help people that could really use it, and you know, build relationships. So he's out there in the front half of this. There's kind of two halves, because there's actually a creek that runs through here. You can kind of see it back in there. But the problem is the water got dammed up because they built their parking lot bigger for trucks, and they just shoved a bunch of fill in there, and then the water couldn't move. So we're going to fix that too, so the water can get back into the drain and into the culvert and downstream. But that first part is kind of wet. But once we get... The other half of that video got cut off for whatever reason. But what I was saying is the first part in front of the creek where Colin's at now is real wet. A little sloppy. But once you get on the other side of that creek, it's real dry. It's much better ground. So that should go pretty well. So he's breaking through right here, right now. And then later today, once we get all this mulch, he brought a grapple. We're going to take that grapple there, and we're going to go through and try and pick out some of the trash and make a scrap pile, because I got to remove all that too. Let me walk you around here to the front side. We've been here about an hour. So, and in that hour, we were able to open up an area right up front to get in. And then he started moving his way back. And something that I noticed he did that I appreciate, and I don't know if he did it on purpose or if he's thinking the same way I am, but once you got in here, you leave yourself a little buffer from the street. That way as you're working in here, people don't have to listen to too much of the noise. It's a little buffer, and then also it keeps the street protected from any flying debris, you know, and passerbys and cars, that kind of thing. So I'm sure that's why he did that. So that's cool. It's nice when people use their brain a little bit. But we got real junk ash. There's some cottonwood in here. There's some more junk ash. There's another cottonwood. There's some crab apple. There's some little maples over there that are covered in poison ivy. There's an elm in the back. More crab apple. And then just the rest of everything in here is just all these little sprouts. Huh. So this is going real good. I'm very happy with the progress we're making so far. And this is kind of a new step for Apex Solutions. This is something that I'm really proud to have the opportunity of, because this kind of work can lead into a lot more work. And this is literally living the dream. I'm outside in the beautiful sun. It's going to be 80 degrees today, which is fantastic because it'll really dry all that mud up. That sun will just bake that moisture right out of there, which is why we're doing this. They're going to put an addition on this building, and the builders suggested they get the land cleared in order to dry it up, so when they come in to break ground, it's not such a mess. So that's what we're here for. And I'm pretty excited about it. Let me try and get around here because I'm right in the sun. So, out of the corner of my eye, I saw something real big running up a tree, and I thought, that's a big squirrel. There's a big raccoon just hanging out up there. Actually, I know you can't tell because it's hard to see on a camera. His eyes are closed. He's just sleeping up there, quite literally. But for all you animal warriors, don't worry. This tree is staying. He will stay in that tree and live in that tree for as long as he wants. So here, check this out. This is why it's also important to kind of walk through the land before you do any mulching. There's a steel bar stuck in the ground, so I found that, painted it bright so you could see it. There's that roll fence. Some other trash. And I got him taking down an ash tree for me. Pretty junk. Bunch of concrete. Good times. But we're making one heck of a dent here pretty quick. And I like that. That sun will get in here, bake all that moisture right out. This is really the only bit of water on this whole thing. And it's because all this got filled and the water couldn't go anywhere. So we're gonna fix that. Just another day in the woods.
Bodies intertwined. You don't need to fall to the call, cause they said so. You don't need to fall to the call, cause they said so. You don't need to fall to the call, cause they said so. You don't need to fall to the call, cause they said so.
Just about there. He's got a pretty good hole opened up in the back. Just about, actually I think he is at the property line now, and he's just working his way across. So I'll figure probably another 2, maybe 3 hours he'll be done. And we'll let the sun beat down on here, dry everything up. And then we'll come back tomorrow maybe with a Mini X. And there's a little bit of water we got to drain. That's it. There you go. We are clearing land. So here's part of my scrap pile. It's like an old fire hydrant or a coupler that used to have a valve, something. And then if we come over here down yonder, got another scrap pile up here. Now this scrap pile has a little bit of everything. Some old wire fence. There's some gutters. We got a drum, an old 7-Up container, some galvanized pipe, a wheelbarrow. And then if we come down here a little further, I got some more scrap. I just can't get it out right now. Oh, look at those guys. Right there. This, it was a bench seat or something out of some kind of a vehicle. Golf cart, anything, I don't know. So we got that. Some rocks over there, big rocks. The scrap that was here, I already cleaned up, but now there's just some rocks. And here's a piece of rebar. I think I showed you that earlier. And somewhere, there was like a 1/2-inch steel plate. It was like 3 foot by 4 foot. And I can't find it. It got buried. But it's out here somewhere. You know, he's right into the corner of the property line now. There's a big pile of block there. And then he's already started to make his way across. We just got a little bit here. And that'd be about it. We'll let the sun bake down on here, dry all this up. And then back in here a little bit further, there's a little bit of water that's dammed up. And there's actually a creek that comes through and it catches a culvert. And we got to get that out and get that all free flowing again. I gotta get me one of these. The only problem is they're very expensive. I don't got that kind of money. So in a previous life, years ago, I used to work in that building. That's Anderson Windows. And they make a lot of the framework to assemble the windows, and then they ship it elsewhere to be put together. But I don't work there anymore. Well, there you go. We got a little bit in the corner back here. We're gonna go take a look at, see if we can get around some of that real nasty wet stuff. Other than that, we got it done. Damn good day. Well, there it is. We're done. He's finishing up that last row here in the back to line up these property lines, these pins on each side. There's one here in the corner and then one up there. That'll get this all squared. A lot is brushed. And our next step, we got to come in here and kind of fill in some of these low spots and get some of this water moving. Downstream, there's a culvert right down here. I've mentioned it several times, I'm sure. And then there's some piles of trash. There's some rocks up there in a pile, and there's a big rock pile here in this corner. And then I got a pile of scrap. And at some point, they want to do a walkthrough. They want to keep some of these trees. And some are going to go for sure because they're ash and they're dead. And then the rest that are staying, they'll just get cleaned up. We'll go through them, dead wood, pull the vines out, and try and give these things the best chance of life. So thank you everybody for sticking around and being patient with me. It's tough to find time to make videos. It really is. You start working, you get busy, and you gotta weigh time on the job. And sometimes that little bit of extra time I take to make videos, it really kind of eats into our day. But I'll do what I can when I can. I think that sounds fair. So I guess that's it. I'll see you in the next one. I gotta find me a bathroom. Oh, this looks lovely. Here's our little fire. Them cables just, they from years of rattling around, and this door opened and closed, it rubbed through there, and it finally made a connection, and it got really hot, and it burned up a little bit. So we got to replace some battery wires. No big deal, pretty simple fix. Then well, kind of clean this thing up a little bit. Oh yeah. The struggle is real, man. I tell you what, it's always something. You fix one thing, something else breaks. You fix that, something else breaks. I'll deal with this bag of garbage tomorrow. No, I won't. I'll do it now. Okay. I'm going home.